And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
Today's guest is Tonisha Hood. About 8 months ago, she had a near-death experience due to an allergic reaction to MSG, and now we're going to learn about it. Tonisha, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome.
Okay.
If you don't mind, can we start on the day yours happened and go from there?
Well, it's kind of hard for me to start from the day it happened because a lot of it won't make sense if I just go.
Okay, however you feel comfortable.
Okay. My mother passed away October, and I had been taking care of her for like the last 3 years. She had suffered Alzheimer's dementia, and she passed away. And it was just very difficult. I started missing her a lot. Now, I wasn't missing her because she passed away, and I'm kind of missing. I'm missing the fact that death. It seems like death was so real. It was so final. So it felt like a contradiction in my soul. I was missing life. I started to get extremely sad and depressed after she passed away. I didn't really have the zest for life that I had because I thought, what is this all for? Are we doing this for nothing? So I started to question spirit. I'm a spiritual person. So I found myself getting up at night, still kind of looking for my mom, asking spirit questions about, is this it? Is, we just live and die? It was depressing. It was getting to the point to where I just really didn't have any life in me, like looking forward to anything anymore. So fast forward January, I go out to eat with my ex-husband, and we're at a seafood restaurant. And I eat, I finish eating, everything was okay. And then all of a sudden I feel like I need air. I just got hot and I need air. I can't breathe. So I get up and I start walking towards the door to the restaurant. And as I start approaching the door, my reality starts to close in. It's like it starts fading to the point I can only see through a small straw hole. That's what it looks like. And then it goes completely black. And as soon as it happens, I feel as if I've taken off some sort of wetsuit. I can feel myself like step out of something. And then in the distance, I see this bright light. It's like a waterfall of electricity. But I'm also looking at myself, and I'm looking at what I have on. I'm looking down, and I'm pulling. I have on a robe with pleats, and I'm dancing and I'm jumping up and down, and I'm saying, "I made it! I made it!" I automatically knew where I was. I was not scared. There was no fear. I had no worries. I was saying, I made it. And I was dancing and I was excited, and I was getting ready to go up into the light where my mother was swirling around in this light, and she was just young and beautiful. Before I did that, I felt something next to me touch me on my side and said, on my left side. So I was looking right straight ahead. So I didn't see what was on my left side. It touched me and said, "You can't stay here." And as soon as I heard that, I was on the restaurant floor, being woken up by my ex-husband and IMSA. They were trying to get me on the gurney and trying to get me to breathe again. But that was my near-death experience.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. It sounds like after your mom died, you were kind of having an existential crisis. Like you didn't know what was, what's the purpose of life and what are we supposed to do here? And
Right.
Have you found a purpose now after your experience?
Yes, I have. I've always had a purpose. I'm a mental health therapist, so I've always felt the need to help people since I was a little kid. I've always felt that need to be there, kind of a listening ear for everyone. Mm-hmm. As I've gotten older, I see the importance of what I do. Now that I've had my near-death experience, I have a kind of a better outlook on life. Mm-hmm. A lot of times I don't know exactly what to say to my clients, and it automatically comes to me. Sometimes I'm talking to them and they go, "How did you know that?" And I have no clue what I'm talking about. I'm just talking, right? So it's something going on. I have no idea what it is, but I'm very important and I'm needed here. Mm-hmm. And I know that was confirmed during my near-death experience.
It's interesting that you were celebrating like you finished the game when you first got there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was so excited to be in that place. It was joy that I had never felt physically here before. And it was a love that I've always longed for. Mm. I've always longed for this unconditional love. I've always wanted it. It's a feeling I know exists, but physically I can't have it. Right. You can't people. And that is what I needed to understand. That is what I needed to feel. So, and that was enough for me. I kind of feel silly having my mom's ashes now.
Yeah, that is interesting. So you said that your mother was in the light. Did you actually see her in the light?
Yes, I saw her in the light. And the light was like, it was swirling around. She was swirling. It was bathing her. Hmm. And she was young. I mean, almost to the point I could almost not recognize her, but she was so, so young.
Some people believe that everybody's about 30 in the astral world. Yeah. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, her hair was pressed. It was straight. It was different than her older look as a gray older woman. Uh-huh. Her skin was flawless. It was insane. I was like, oh my God, I was stuck and I was in awe. I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. I was just like stuck there, didn't want to move. I have 3 children, I didn't think about them at all. Somehow I knew they would be okay. Yeah. Somehow I know that everybody's going to be okay. When you have a near-death experience and you go to that other existence, you know that everybody's eventually going to come. So, and they come at their own time. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's no pain and no hurt and no sorrow because you're all knowing now.
Did you have any communication with her, even if it was just telepathic or waving or gesturing?
No, I didn't have any communication with her. She was being healed. She was being healed in that light. And that light was feeding me through my stomach. When I told you I was kind of being pulled towards the light. Mm. I was being pulled towards the light through my stomach.
Interesting.
And I could feel that I was getting healed, and she was getting healed. So I knew that she was busy, but I should say she was busy.
Right. You heard the voice to your left side. Was it your husband's voice or someone in the restaurant's voice?
No,
or was
it was a woman. It was a female voice, and it sounded like me. Sounded like myself.
Do you think it's like your higher self?
I think it was my higher self.
How else have you changed since this experience?
I want to love more, and I want people to love more. People to be more patient, more kind, a lot more understanding. Let's see, my appetite for life is back. Mm-hmm. I look forward to things. There's hope for everyone. No one is a lost cause. I believe in everyone. There's a reason we are all here.
Mm-hmm. Are you a religious person? And if so, did that make any difference?
I'm not religious at all. I do not believe in the Bible, and I don't go to church.
All right. So it sounds like you ended up having an ability of like precognition or something. Did you get any other abilities?
When I was a kid, when I was younger, I had visions. I remember seeing one of my friend's mother die in a parking lot in a car. It was a vision. I've had visions as a kid, but they were too intense. So I've always known that there was a higher power allowing me to see this stuff, but I didn't quite understand what it was. So I've always been on a path for truth and kind of understanding my existence here in the world. I've always lived in that space and searched for answers and remained true to myself.
Do you fear death at all anymore?
No, how I go, I don't, I wonder about that, but I don't fear leaving. I'm kind of I look forward to it actually.
After you came back, you had experienced so much love that you've always yearned for here. How did that change you? Did you come to an acceptance that, okay, it's impossible? Did it make you depressed? Like, oh, I'm never going to feel that again until I go back? Or what do you think?
At first I did. At first I was depressed for about 3 weeks after my near-death experience. I was extremely sad because I longed for home. I longed for a place I knew I couldn't, you can't go to unless you're out of here. And so after I kind of got over that and kind of got back into, it's like you on a high. When you have a near-death experience, you're on some high, right? And that's all you can think about. It's on your mind every day, all day. It's every day. It's all you can think about is this place, this home that you know of, this love and all this healing and all this stuff. So in a sense, you are sad because you do miss it. I mean, you don't have the same feeling here. You can't get that same love from another human being. It's impossible. Nobody can do that.
Right.
So I long for that. Yes, that is never ending. But I mean, I'm okay with it.
Let me ask you this. Now that you know that you can't get that love from any other human, does it change you in the way that you will go forth in the next relationship?
Yes. My expectations are different.
I think there's research that says that at least 50% of the people get divorced after a near-death experience. Can you comment on that?
Well, like I said, I was already divorced. Right. So, but I can understand them. See, how do I explain it? When people get married, sometimes they get married to complete themselves, right? Like, oh, I need a partner, and that partner completes me. When you have a near-death experience, or you go into there's a higher existence, there is not a need for a physical completion anymore. It's not that your partner, you don't need them anymore. It's that they no longer, you no longer need them in their capacity as far as love. It doesn't feed what you need anymore.
Right.
So it's pointless almost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So are you saying
not that people are pointless? That's not what I'm saying. Relationships are extremely important, but once you grow past some things, they no longer serve you, and it feels like it holds you back in a certain sense. So yes, I can understand a divorce.
So are you at a point now where you feel like you're not really interested in long-term relationships like marriage?
I was feeling like that. I really was. I was feeling like that. I'm kind of starting to change a little bit, but I was feeling like relationships are not for me, and I'm okay. I was just okay kind of being by myself and in my own skin.
Right. Have your friends noticed a change in you after the experience? And if so, what did they comment?
My kids, they noticed a change. I'm kinder, more patient with people.
As we spoke off air before we started, you said that this place is more real than over there. Would you say like this place is a joke or a dream compared to over there?
No. This where we are now is very much important, but it is something we created so that we can play ourselves out.
Do you think you can explain? Maybe it's unexplainable, but if
possible,
it's
kind of hard to explain. When I was when I heard myself say, when I had my near-death experience, and I heard a female voice, and it sounded like myself, and it said, "You can't stay here." It's like it's like we are the avatars of our real soul. Our real soul is in a higher plane of existence, right? And it's like our soul is directing us in a play, in a sense.
Do you think you can explain how it is that it's so much more real over there than here?
Being in the spirit versus being in physical. Mm-hmm. In order to feel any type of emotion, there are wires and all type of chemicals and things that have to, work in our body in order for us to have some sort of. In the spirit, it's immediate, mm-hmm. and the feeling is intense.
So maybe in this 3D world, actions have kind of got to filter through the machine.
Yes. There's a filter that everything goes through before it actually takes place. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I've heard it said something like, over here, we've got to perceive it through our perceptions. Maybe where there, it's just instant.
Yeah, I could see that.
How has this changed you at your job?
Well, it's changed me because a lot of times when I'm in my therapy sessions and I'm talking to my clients, I'll bring up something that just, an idea, a thought that just pops into my head, and I'll kind of elaborate on it or what I think or give some sort of scenario, and the client can closely relate to them or relate to what I'm talking about, or they are currently going through it. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, I didn't know that because that's not something that the client has disclosed during the session. Mm-hmm. So they go, "How did you know that?" Mm-hmm. And I go, "I have no idea what you're talking about. It's just, I'm just talking or giving you explaining something or the way something looks or how I feel about something." And then they immediately, they get it because they're either, gone through it or going through it right at the moment. Mm. And I do that a lot. I do that a lot with people, even when I'm just out and about. And I could be at the grocery store. I could be at the gas station. I could be anywhere. And I'm like, and especially if you're standing close to me and I'm trying to leave and I can't leave, like, it's something I need to say to you. I don't know what it is, but you won't move around. You won't move out of my way. It's something I need to say. I don't know what in the world I'm getting ready to say to you. And they go, "How did you know that?" And oftentimes I bring people to tears.
Wow.
And I'm not trying to bring them to tears. It's just whatever it is in my head, I need to tell you what it is and then go on.
Oh, that's amazing. Have you considered taking any classes to maybe even develop this ability stronger?
I've considered it. I've considered it. It causes a great deal of anxiety.
Mm. Does it happen a lot when you don't want it to happen?
No, when you don't want it to happen, you can ask for it not to happen and it won't happen. Do
you find yourself like in the parking lot of like the grocery store and saying, "Okay, I don't want to deal with this today"?
Not anymore. I used to. Not anymore. I don't have to do that anymore.
Interesting.
When I was younger, when I was in my teens, it was really bad.
Okay, so you're saying you've had this ability even before your experience?
Yes, I've had this ability before my incident, yes.
If you came across someone who said, "Hey, I just had an NDE 2 weeks ago and I'm really struggling with figuring this all out and, and sorting my life out," what kind of advice would you give them?
They're going to have to be more specific.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
When you are searching for an answer, there are answers everywhere. When you are searching for the truth, there's only one truth. So if you are specific, then you'll get the truth to what you seek. If you just want answers, then you'll just get answers. Do you understand?
I think so, actually. And I like what you said. If you're looking for answers, the answers are everywhere.
Yes, they are.
Can you be a little bit more descriptive about that?
Everyone here has a specific reason to be here. There is something unique about each and every one of us. We're all connected, but we all have different reasons of being here, of even wanting to come or even being here. The lesson we learn, whatever it is you want to experience here, they're all different reasons for that. The deal is to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And it's only one truth to that. There's only one reason why you're really here. Now, there are reasons for other people, but there's only one reason for you.
And so do you think that's like part of the game, is for you to figure out the reason?
Yes, it is.
So I've asked you before, if you had a purpose, do you feel like you've got the reason for you?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yes, I do.
If you don't mind, what is it?
Well, my reason for being here is to, number one, help other people recognize who they are.
It's easily understandable helping other people. Why do you think a reason is of recognizing who they are? What is the purpose of that?
If you recognize who you are, if you know who you are, it's easier for you to understand life.
I was confused. I thought when you said recognizing other people, I didn't realize it was recognizing yourself. I thought you were saying recognize who other people are.
Yeah, recognizing who you are.
Right.
A lot of us do not know who we are. Mm-hmm. We don't know how powerful we are. We don't know how creative we are.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We just don't know. There's a difference between having an idea and actually a knowing.
In the comments of my podcast, I read sometimes that people come to the podcast because they've lost somebody in their family. And so they've become interested in NDEs. What kind of advice can you give those people or reassurance that your family members are okay, they're eternal beings and everything's okay?
The only reason why I know everything's okay because I felt it, right? I can say it to you all day long, that everything's going to be okay, and we're all going to go to this place, and you're going to see your loved ones again. Like I said before, there's a difference between having an idea and a knowing.
Right.
Right? Now, if you want to know, then you need to ask. Right? If that is a truth that you want revealed to you, it can be revealed if you ask for it.
All right. This is going to be simplistic, but ask in what way?
There's a difference between a deep desire and a notion. Okay? I can say I want to be rich all day, for example. I want to be rich, right? I want a lot of money. I want to be rich. But am I really working towards that goal of making $1 million? No. It's just a thought. It's just an idea, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look at and I see myself, I have a big house. I got food, a car. I can go anywhere I want to go. I could, money is not an issue, right? Those are all ideas. Those are all just thoughts and this kind of notion. Is it a deep desire? Is it a deep yearning? If it was, then I would diligently be working towards that, right? That's the difference. Spirit knows if you are diligently seeking that truth. And spirit knows if it's just a notion.
Some of my guests sometimes have something they want to promote, a website, a book, a class, anything. Is there anything that you want to promote while you're here? Because I'm happy to help you out.
SymphonyMentalHealthServices.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you are any type of mental health counseling, family counseling, marriage counseling, adult and children, that's where you'll find me.
All right. That's SymphonyMentalHealth.com.
symphonymentalhealthservices.com.
Okay. After watching this podcast, people may want to reach out to you and ask questions. Are you open for that? And if so, how can they reach out to you?
Yes, I'm open to that. And they can, they can email me, or that'll be fine if they email me.
Do you want to give me your email address and I'll put
Sure.
it in the description? If that's okay with you.
It's lemonb, LEMONB, 1215 @yahoo.com.
Before we finish up here, do you have one last positive message that you can share with everyone?
One thing I do need to share with everyone is to keep moving forward. Things will be a lot different a year from now. Just keep moving forward.
All right. I like that message. No matter what's going on in your life, just keep going, keep moving forward.
Yes.
All right, Tonisha, thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you, and I wish you the best.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching the JeffMara podcast. I really appreciate you. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. And if you do, there are loyalty badges and other perks depending on your level of membership. All you need to do is click the join button underneath the video to find out more. Thank you for your support.